Bangkok, a city of more than 10 million people. A place where new buildings seem to appear almost overnight, where expressways stretch across the skyline and where life never really slows down. I've spent more than 30 years living and working across Asia, and one thing I've learned is that cities never stop changing. Sometimes for the better, sometimes at a cost. But every now and then, you find a place that has somehow escaped the race to modernize. Not completely, but just enough to remind you what life once looked like. Today, I'm visiting Koh Kret, a small island in the Chao Phraya River, less than an hour from central Bangkok. Most tourists never make it here, and perhaps that's exactly why it's worth coming.
Good. It's a place where it's not much filmed, not so touristic, but it has a very interesting history. Let's see if we can find some native Mon people.
The journey begins with a short ferry crossing. It's only a few minutes. In fact, you'll probably spend longer waiting for the ferry than crossing the river. But something interesting happens during those few minutes. As Bangkok disappears behind you, the atmosphere changes almost immediately. The traffic noise fades away. The air feels calmer. You start to realize you are leaving more behind than just the mainland. You're leaving the pace of the city. Koh Kret wasn't always an island. More than 300 years ago, a canal was dug to create a shortcut for boats traveling along the Chao Phraya River. Over time, the river adopted this new route, leaving this piece of land surrounded by water. What started as an engineering project accidentally created one of Thailand's most fascinating communities. History has a habit of creating surprises. Stepping off the ferry, the first thing I noticed is what isn't here. No cars, no traffic lights, no endless stream of delivery trucks. Instead, there are narrow concrete paths weaving through neighborhoods, gardens and small family homes. People walk, they cycle, or they ride small scooters. Life immediately feels slower. And slower isn't always a bad thing. One of the reasons Koh Kret feels different is because people still live here. This isn't an open-air museum. It's not a created, traditional village built for visitors. This is not a tourist attraction. There is simply everyday life. And sometimes everyday life tells you more about the place than any guidebook ever could. As I wander further into the island, the paths becomes even narrower. Small bridges connect different sections of the village. Wooden walkways cross tiny canals. Large trees provide welcome shade from the tropical sun. Every corner reveals something different.
Actually, it's a very beautiful place. Quiet. Listen, the birds. It's nice.
One of the great pleasures of traveling slowly is that conversations happen naturally. You don't always need a common language. A smile, a few simple words, that's often enough.
Born here.
Born here, so you're Hmong people.
No. It's not Mon all over the island. No. It also mixed Thai.
Mixed Thai.
Yes, Mon is they make immigration later.
So your house is there? Where's your house then?
In the-
Oh,
in
there.
Thai.
Okay.
It's old house.
Doesn't matter. Oh,
Many 4 or 5 years we found the problem of flood.
here, flood. Yeah?
Flood.
No.
The flood is increased.
Here?
Yes,
You can swim?
yes.
You can swim?
Yeah.
So the water here
เออ
go up?
น้ำขนาดไหนเขาถาม
นี่แค่คอเนี่ย
Wow.
ว้าว
A lot of
ห้า
water.
สี่
So,
ห้าสี่
We grow many durian tree.
oh,
You
like
know
durian.
Like
Yeah.
durian.
You have to here
Like
too?
lemon. This is
Oh, because
Oh.
durian is
durian.
Good
lemon.
money, yeah.
Lemon.
lemon.
Orange. We so grow a lot, but they die with flood.
Oh,
They die with flood.
that is very. It's a pity, huh? Nice. Thank you. Yeah. Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You can speak English. ทำไมพูดได้วะ
I give you a hand because you're a nice guy. Don't.
เย้
Thank you, sir. What a lovely people. They know much money. They're poor. They still want to give a little from their own, well, you say that, stuff. So nice.
Koh Kret is closely associated with the Mon people, an ethnic community whose ancestors settled here centuries ago. Their traditions continue to shape the island today. You can still see their influence in local architecture, religious customs, and everyday life. It's remarkable that such a small community has managed to preserve so much of its identity, while one of Southeast Asia's largest cities continues expanding around it. That's one of the reasons I enjoy visiting places like Koh Kret. Not because they are frozen in time, they are not. People here use smartphones, children play online games, scooters replace bicycles. Life moves forward here as well. But it moves at its own pace, not at the speed dictated by developers or investors. There's a quiet confidence here, the feeling that not everything needs to change immediately. Luckily, Koh Kret hasn't become another destination built around entertainment. People don't come here looking for excitement. They come to walk, to observe, to slow down. And maybe That's becoming one of the rarest travel experiences of all, simply having time to notice things. Places like Koh Kret matter, not because they are famous, not because they are spectacular, but because they remind us that development doesn't have to erase identity. That communities can still preserve their culture while adapting to modern life. And sometimes the most memorable moments are the people you meet, the conversations you have, and the moments when you simply stop and observe. That's the Asia I enjoy discovering. Not just the famous landmarks, but the places in between. The places where are everyday, the places where everyday life quietly continues.
Good. I survived. So, it ends here. Alive. I'm not a fan to take the motorbike, but it's very hard to get a grab there. So, just for 30 baht. It was very fast. Okay, thanks. We continue the trip back to the hotel. Good.